Imagine planning a war against a country, realizing the land itself is your enemy, not the army, not the weapons, the mountains, the deserts, the narrow sea routes. For decades, the United States has reshaped the Middle East with military force. 1986 United States bombing of Libya, the invasion of Iraq War, interventions across Syria. But one country has stubbornly resisted that pattern: Iran. And the reason isn't just politics, it's geography. Because Iran isn't just a country, it's a fortress built by nature itself. Look at a map. To the west, the towering walls of the Zagros Mountains stretch for nearly 1,600 kilometers. These mountains form a brutal barrier between Iran and Iraq. Any invading army would have to push through narrow valleys and steep passes. Perfect ambush territory. To the north rises another wall, the Alborz Mountains. These mountains protect the region south of the Caspian Sea. The peaks here are so high and rugged that moving large military formations through them becomes a logistical nightmare. Then there's the inside of the country. Two massive deserts dominate central Iran, the Dashti Kavir and the Dashti Lut. These aren't ordinary deserts. Parts of the Lut Desert record some of the hottest surface temperatures ever measured on Earth. For an invading army, that means supply lines stretching hundreds of kilometers through hostile terrain. Fuel, food, water, everything becomes harder. And this is where many military strategists stop dreaming about quick victories. Because even if an army crosses the border, the real problem starts afterward. Iran is huge. It's roughly 1.6 million square kilometers, more than twice the size of Pakistan. Major cities like Tehran, Isfahan, and Mashhad are located deep inside the country. That creates something military planners call strategic depth. The deeper an invading force moves, the longer its supply lines become, and the easier it becomes to cut them. But geography isn't Iran's only advantage. Look south. At a narrow strip of water connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean, the Strait of Hormuz, this tiny corridor is one of the most important choke points in the global economy. Around 20% of the world's oil supply moves through this strait. Tankers from countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and United Arab Emirates pass through here every day, in the northern side of that strait. It's controlled by Iran. That means if a major war ever erupted, Iran could threaten to close the passage, sending shockwaves through the entire global economy. Oil prices would skyrocket, shipping routes would collapse, and the world would suddenly feel the consequences. But the country's real resilience may come from something even more complicated. Its people. Iran is not a single ethnic group. It's a mosaic. Persians, Azeris, Kurds, Arabs, Baluch, Turkmen. Under normal conditions, these differences create political tension. But history shows something strange happens when Iran faces an external threat. Those divisions disappear. A perfect example came in 1980. The leader of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, believed Iran was weak after the Iranian Revolution. He thought invading would be easy. Instead, the conflict turned into the devastating Iran-Iraq War, a war that lasted 8 brutal years. Nearly 1 million people died. But in the end, Iraq failed to capture Iranian territory. Instead of collapsing, Iran's national identity hardened. The invasion united factions that normally disagreed with each other, and that pattern matters. Because it means any foreign attack risks triggering the same reaction again. Which brings us to the final reason Iran is so difficult to conquer. Time. Iran's strategy isn't necessarily to win quickly. It's to make war so long, expensive, and chaotic that the attacker eventually gives up. Mountains slow you down, deserts drain your supplies, cities lie deep inside the country, and every extra kilometer multiplies the cost of war. That's why, despite decades of tension, the world's most powerful militaries still treat Iran very carefully. Because invading Iran wouldn't just mean fighting an army. It would mean fighting geography itself. And history shows that geography is often the most stubborn defender of all.